Hello dear students, now I am going to discuss Cambridge O-Level Chemistry May June 2023 Paper 12 Question 1 to 20. Let's move. Number 1. A sample of iodine is at room temperature and pressure. Which statement about the particles in the sample is correct? D is the correct answer. The particles vibrate about a fixed point because at room temperature iodine is physical state solid. So in solid the particles only vibrate about a fixed position. So D is the right answer. Why is wrong? The particles are arranged in a giant lattice. This is simple molecular. This is wrong. B, the particles have zero kinetic energy. This is wrong. The particles move randomly through the solid. This is wrong. Now number 2, element Z nucleon number means mass number forms an ion Z -3. Where is Z found in the periodic table? And this is group 5. This is the answer. Why? You see 31 nucleon number is phosphorus, atomic number 15, mass number nucleon number 31. So phosphorus has group 5 element, so it forms -3 ion. So Z3 minus means group 5 element. Group 5 element form -3 ion. So B is the right answer. Number 3, naturally occurring bromine has relative atomic mass of 80 and consists entirely of two isotopes of relative atomic mass 79 and 81. What can be deduced about naturally occurring bromine from this information only? A is the right answer. Bromine contains the two isotopes in equal proportions. That means they are consistently two isotope of relative atomic masses 79 and 81 is close to 80. That means bromine contains the two isotopes in equal proportion. So if you calculate, you get AR, relative atomic mass 79 times 50 plus 81 times 50. That means they are equal amount, divided by 100. If you calculate, you get 80. So A is the right answer. B is wrong. Bromine has different oxidation state. This is wrong answer. Bromine isotope have different number of protons, same number of protons. This is wrong. Bromine is radioactive. Bromine is not radioactive, so D is wrong. A is the right answer. Number 4. Element X and Y react together to form a compound. The electronic configuration of X and Y are X group 3 element, Y group 6 element. So if you take one group 3 element aluminium and one group 6 element oxygen, so they will form aluminium is group 3, oxygen is group 6, Al2O3. Which row shows the electron transfer that take place and the type of compound form? And if you ionize aluminium oxide, it will form 2Al3 plus 3 plus group 3 and plus 3O minus 2 oxide ion. So B is the right answer. You see two atoms each lose 3 electrons. Here Al2 2 atom, every atom lose 3 electron to form Al3 plus 2 Al3 plus, and Y 3 atom each, every atom receive 2 electrons. So Al2O3 3 oxygen atom, it forms 3 O2 minus. That means 3 atoms, every atom takes 2 electron, and aluminum is a metal, oxygen is a non-metal. Group 3, X group 3, outer layer 3 electron, metal. Y group 6 non-metal, they form ionic compound. So B is the right answer. Now number 5. Which molecules has the largest number of electrons involved in covalent bonds? You see, this is ethene, carbon dioxide, methanol, displayed formula, nitrogen, triple bond. So largest number of electrons involved in covalent bonds, answer ethene. 1 2 3 4 5 6 bond, that means 12 electrons are involved. Here 1 2 3 4 8 electrons. Here 1 2 3 4 5 10 electrons. Every bond has 2 electrons. So nitrogen triple bonds 6 electrons. Ethene involved 12 electrons. Carbon dioxide involved 8 electrons, 10 electrons. Methanol, nitrogen 6 electrons. So A is the right answer. So A is the right answer, ethene. Now number 6. X is the arrangement of bonds around a carbon atom in graphite. Y is the arrangement of bonds around a carbon atom in diamond, graphite and diamond. Z is the arrangement of bonds around the silicon atom in silicon 4 oxide SiO2, whose arrangements of bonds are same. Y diamond tetrahedral, Z silicon dioxide also tetrahedral. So C is the right answer, Y and Z. X is the arrangement of bonds around the carbon atom. This is not tetrahedral, this is trigonal planar structure, ring structure. So this is different. Y and Z are the right answer. Next, what is the equation for the reaction between sodium carbonate and dilute nitric acid? So carbonate salt reacts with nitric acid to form nitrate salt plus carbon dioxide plus water. So D is the right answer. Why A is wrong? Sodium carbonate formula wrong. It will be carbonate balance is 2 and Na2CO3. This is wrong. This also wrong. And C, nitric acid formula is wrong. This will be HNO3, not H2NO3. So D is the right answer. Number 8. Which statements about relative atomic mass and relative molecular mass are correct? Number 1. The mass of the different isotope does not affect the relative atomic mass. This is wrong. This will be affect the relative atomic mass. The mass of the different isotopes affect the relative atomic masses. So this is wrong. This is wrong. 2. Only covalent compounds have a relative molecular mass. Yes, this is true. Relative molecular mass only applicable for covalent compounds. And 3, this is true. 3, relative atomic masses are compared to 1/12 of the masses of one atom of carbon 12. This is the definition of relative atomic mass. The average mass of one atom compared to 1/12 mass of carbon 12. 2 and 3 is the right answer. So C is the correct answer. Next, 9. Aqueous hydrogen peroxide decomposes slowly at 25 degrees centigrade. Hydrogen peroxide decompose to give oxygen and water. The decomposition reaction takes place faster when a catalyst is added. Catalyst speed up the reaction, so decomposition occurs fastly. A student adds a small amount of catalyst to 10 centimeter cube of 1 mole per dm cube hydrogen peroxide and collects the gas form. The volume of gas collected is 90 centimeter cube. Volume of gas, oxygen gas, is 90 centimeter cube. All measurements are at room temperature and pressure. What is percentage yield of oxygen? Percentage yield of oxygen is given. So actual volume is given 90 centimeter cube, and hydrogen peroxide volume is given 10 centimeter cube. Concentration is given 1 mole per dm cube. So you can find out at first moles of hydrogen peroxide concentration times volume. 1 times 10 by 1000, 10 centimeter cube has been converted to dm cube by dividing 1000. So you get moles of hydrogen peroxide 0.01. Now hydrogen peroxide 2 mole, oxygen 1 mole. So mole of oxygen is the half of hydrogen peroxide. So moles of oxygen will be 0.01 divided by 2, 0.005. Now volume of oxygen, calculated volume of oxygen, number of mole times molar volume, means 0.005 times 24,000 centimeter cube. So you get 120 centimeter cube. This is calculated volume. Now you see percentage yield of oxygen, actual volume or experimental volume 90 centimeter cube divided by calculated volume 120 centimeter cube times 100. So you will get 75%. That's why this is the right answer. Moles of hydrogen peroxide, concentration times volume. Mole ratio hydrogen peroxide ratio oxygen 2:1. So moles of oxygen, these divide by 2. Now volume of oxygen means calculated volume, number of moles times molar volume, 120 centimeter cube. Percentage yield of oxygen, actual volume or experimental volume 90 centimeter cube is given. 120 is the calculated volume times 100, 75%. Next, the diagram shows the structure of atoms of two elements X and Z. X and Z are not the atomic symbol for this element. So the elements combine to form a compound. That means X and Z combine to form a compound. Now, what is the mass of 1 mole of this compound? This answer, if you calculate, you will get 30 gram. So how you calculate? You see, X is a group 1 element because outer shell has 1 electron. So X is a group 1 and Z is a 2, 4, 6, group 6 electron, group 6 element. So group 6 elements say oxygen. This formula will be X2O type formula. Now you see lithium 3 proton, here 8 proton. So here 3 proton, 4 neutron, 7 total, mass number 7, and this 8 proton, 8 neutron, total mass number 16. So X is 2 atom, 7 to the 14 plus oxygen is 1 atom, 16. 1 mole of compound will be 30 gram. So answer will be D, 30 gram. 3 proton, 4 neutron, total mass number 7, and this is a group 1. Here outer shell has 6 electron, so group 6, and 8 proton, 8 neutron, total mass number 16. So formula is X2O means mass number 7, lithium oxide, lithium 7 mass number, 7 times 2 14, oxygen 16, answer will be 30 gram. D will be the right answer. Next, which compound contains 45.2% nitrogen by mass? So if you calculate, you will get the answer, methylamine. MR of methylamine, carbon 12, hydrogen 3 plus 2 5, nitrogen 14, so you get 31. Percentage of nitrogen, total mass 31, in 31 nitrogen is 14, so percentage mean in 100, you will get 45.16 means 45.2%. so this you will get this the right answer, correct answer. Then next, aqueous copper 2 sulfate is electrolyzed using copper electrodes. The current is constant and the anode is wet at regular time intervals, and you know at the anode will dissolve, anode will lose electrons, so mass will be decreases, and whose graph is obtained when the mass of the anode is plotted against time. So this mass increase, this wrong, this increase, this wrong, this exponentially decreases, but here this become constant, so this is wrong, decreases, this C is the right answer, linearly decreases, ongoing time mass of anode will be decreases, C is the right answer. Next, what is a chemical product of a hydrogen oxygen fuel cell? This is the answer, D, water. Hydrogen reacts burning oxygen to produce water. So in hydrogen oxygen fuel cell, the chemical product will be water. Now 14, hydrogen can be produced by reacting methane with steam. Methane reacts with steam to produce carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Using the bond energies in the table, what is the enthalpy change of reaction del H? So, and you know, if this is reactant, in reactant bonds break, in products bonds form. So enthalpy change will be bond broken energy minus bond form energy. So if you calculate, you get the answer C. Methane, oxygen. In methane there are 4 carbon hydrogen bonds, so 4 times 435 is given here, plus 2 mole water, 1 OH bond plus 1 times 2 4 times 463, minus reactant minus product, minus carbon dioxide, carbon oxygen double bond 1, carbon oxygen double bond 1, 2 times 805, minus hydrogen 1 bond times 4 times 436. If you calculate, you get plus 238 kilojoule per mole. So C is the right answer. Enthalpy change of reaction will be bond broken energy minus bond form energy. In reactants bonds are broken, in products bonds are formed. Now this is 14 answer. Methane 4 CH bond, 2 mole water, 1 times 2 4 OH bond, carbon dioxide 1 carbon oxygen double bond, 1 carbon oxygen double bond, 2 carbon oxygen double bond, hydrogen 4 hydrogen. So bond broken minus bond form, you get these values. 15. What is the best way of slowing down the reaction between magnesium and sulfuric acid? How you can slow down the reaction when magnesium reacts with sulfuric acid? B is the right answer. Diluting the acid used in the reaction. If you dilute the acid, concentration of acid decreases, so rate of reaction will be decreases. That means reaction will be slow down. B is the right answer. But why A is wrong? Adding a catalyst. No, if you use catalyst, rate of reaction will be increased, not a slow down. Stirring the reagent, rate of reaction will be increases. Using magnesium powder instead of strip of magnesium, if you use magnesium powder, rate of reaction will be high. So B is the right answer. Next, (16) the volume of gas produced by the reaction of 100 centimeter cube hydrochloric acid with excess calcium carbonate, carbonate is excess, is measured in 2 experiments. The volumes of gases are measured at RTP, room temperature and pressure, and the results are shown. Time, volume of gas in experiment 1, in experiment 2. So this increasing here constant, increasing here constant. Experiment 2 produces more volume of carbon dioxide gas. So you are asking, which one change in condition to experiment 1 gives the result for experiment 2. Experiment 1 you give less volume of gas, experiment 2 you will get more volume of gas. So if you use a higher concentration of the acid is used, so you will get more volume of oxygen as calcium carbonate is excess. So answer is B. A higher concentration of acid, then more calcium carbonate will react and volume of gas will be more. So you are asking which one change in condition to experiment 1 gives the result for experiment 2. If in experiment 1 if you use more concentrated hydrochloric acid, then you will get experiment 2 result. That means more volume of gas will be produced. Now 17, hydrogen is made industrially by the reaction. Carbon monoxide reacts with steam to produce carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Delta S, this reaction is exothermic reaction, as delta H value is negative. So statements about this industrial process are given. Which statements are correct? Here 1 and 3 are the correct answer. Why? You see, a high pressure can be used to increase the rate of formation of hydrogen. A high pressure, yes. If you use pressure increases, molecules become closer, more successful collision occur, rate of reaction increases. So 1 is the right answer, and 3 is the right. Why? A high temperature can be used to increase the rate of formation of hydrogen. Yes, if you increased temperature, rate of reaction will be increases. 1 and 3 is the right answer. But why 2 and 4 is wrong? A high pressure can be used to shift the equilibrium to the right. No, 1 mole, 2 mole, 1 mole, 2 mole. Pressure have no effect because there are same number of moles on both sides. So 2 is the wrong. Now why 4 is wrong? A high temperature can be used to shift equilibrium to the right. No, as reaction is exo, so at high temperature equilibrium will shift from right to left. So this is wrong. 1 and 3 is the right answer. Next, the table refers to two important industrial gaseous reaction: hydrogen, nitrogen, product ammonia, catalyst nickel, no catalyst nickel. This is wrong. Catalyst will be iron, and oxygen, sulfur dioxide, this is true. Vanadium 5 oxide catalyst is used. So which catalyst are correctly stated? Reaction 1, this no, this is the right, because here not nickel, iron catalyst used in manufacture of ammonia by Haber process when hydrogen reacts with nitrogen. Reaction 2, when sulfur dioxide reacts with oxygen to produce sulfur trioxide. So in this reaction vanadium 5 oxide catalyst is used. This is true. So B is the right answer. Next, 19, iron 2 ions reacts with chlorine. Which statement about this reaction is correct? Here iron 2 is oxidized, chlorine is reduced. So chlorine is reduced by iron 2 ions. Yes, this is true, because iron 2 ion reduces chlorine but itself oxidizes. I mean, chlorine is reduced by iron 2 ions. That means iron 2 ions reduces chlorine to chloride ion. Why? You see, this is oxidation number 0, this is -1, this is iron 2 plus oxidation number +2, this is oxidation number +3. So iron 2 ion is oxidized, chlorine is reduced. Iron 2 ion reduces chlorine to chloride ion. A is the right answer. Why B is wrong? Chlorine is reducing agent. No, chlorine is a oxidizing agent, because chlorine oxidizes iron 2 to iron 3. This is wrong. Iron 2 ions are reduced by chlorine. No, this is wrong. Iron 2 ion is oxidized, not reduced. Wrong. These iron 2 ions are oxidizing agent. No, iron 2 ion are reducing agent, because iron 2 ion reduces chlorine to chloride ion. So iron 2 ion is not oxidizing agent, iron 2 ion is reducing agent. B, C, D wrong answer. A is the correct answer. Now 20. Which reagent and observation describe the test for the reducing agent? So acidified potassium permanganate 7, it will goes to purple to colorless. So any reducing agent, if you add to acidified potassium permanganate, reducing agent reduces potassium permanganate, so color change will be purple to colorless. That means KMnO4, this is purple color, so if you add any reducing agent, it will go to colorless. Reducing agent potassium permanganate goes to manganese 2 ion. Manganese 2 ion is colorless. So how can you test for reducing agent? Reducing agent is added to potassium permanganate, acidified potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate turns purple to colorless. This is the test for reducing agent. Thank you, dear students. Hello students, now I am going to discuss Cambridge O-level chemistry May-June 2023 paper 12 MCQ paper, question number 21 to 40. Let's move. Number 21. Compound X is a gas at room temperature. X dissolve in water to give a solution with a pH 4. That means pH 4 means acidic solution. So answer will be C. Atoms of hydrogen are present in X. Compound X, hydrogen chloride gas, dissolve in water to produce hydrogen chloride aqueous, to produce hydrogen ion plus chloride ion, hydrogen ion aqueous. So this is acidic, hydrogen ion is produced, so this solution will be acidic pH 4. So atoms of hydrogen are present in X. So hydrogen chloride in X, hydrogen atom present, that dissolve in water to produce hydrogen ion aqueous. So C is the right answer. Why A is wrong? An aqueous solution of X will not conduct electricity. Acidic solution will conduct electricity. Atoms of metallic element are present in X. No, if metal present that reacts with water to produce alkaline, pH will be more than 7. So this is wrong. X is ionically bonded. This also wrong. Next 22. Which statement about hydrochloric acid is correct? Hydrochloric acid reacts with magnesium carbonate to form 3 different products. This is true because hydrochloric acid reacts with magnesium carbonate MgCO3 so acid reacts with carbonate salt to produce salt plus carbon dioxide plus water, 3 different products. That will be magnesium chloride, plus carbon dioxide plus water. So when hydrochloric acid reacts with magnesium carbonate, hydrochloric acid reacts with magnesium carbonate 1, 2, 3. 3 different products are produced. One is magnesium chloride, other is carbon dioxide, and number 3 is water. So you know, when carbonate salt reacts with acid to form salt plus carbon dioxide plus water. A is the right answer. Now B, why wrong? Hydrochloric acid reacts with magnesium to form magnesium chloride and water. Not water, hydrogen will form. This is wrong. When hydrochloric acid is added to a colorless solution of thymolphthalein, it is blue. No, thymolphthalein in acid colorless. This is wrong. D, when hydrochloric acid is warm with ammonium chloride, ammonia gas is produced. No, when not hydrochloric acid, when alkali is added, then ammonia gas is produced. So A is the right answer. The addition of calcium hydroxide to soil, calcium hydroxide is alkali, to soil reduce its acidity but also reduce the efficiency of fertilizers. Who is to explain this? This is 2 and this is the right. Why? Calcium hydroxide reacts with hydrogen ion acid to form calcium ion and water. So neutralize the acid, acidity decreases. This is true. Number 3 is why correct. But also reduces the efficiency of fertilizers. That means when calcium hydroxide reacts with ammonium nitrate, calcium nitrate, ammonia and water is formed. So ammonia gas is produced, who is escape, gas will escape. That's why fertilizers efficiency will decreases. Now next, which anions are contained in salt that are always soluble in water. And this is the C is the right answer. All nitrates compounds are soluble. This is for rules of solubility. All nitrates compounds are soluble. So C is the right answer. Next, 25. The element phosphorus is immediately below nitrogen in the periodic table. Phosphorus, nitrogen, then phosphorus in the same group 5. It forms an oxide with empirical formula P2O5. Oxygen is a group 2, phosphorus is a group 5. From the position of phosphorus in the periodic table, the element is expected to be, phosphorus is a non-metal because in periodic table group 1, 2, 3 metal, 4, 5, 6, 7 are non-metal. So 1 is non-metal, and the bonds its oxide will be covalent because phosphorus pentaoxide or phosphorus 5 oxide, phosphorus group 5 non-metal, oxygen group 6 non-metal. When two non-metal, they form covalent bond, covalent compound. So C is the right answer. Next, which statement is correct? B is the correct answer. Group 1 elements are stored under oil to avoid reaction with oxygen and water in the air. As you know, group 1 elements are so reactive, so they are stored, they are kept under oil so that they cannot contact with oxygen and water. B is the right answer. (27) The table shows some properties of transition element and the reason why they have these properties. Which row shows a correct property and the reason why transition elements show this property. So C is the right answer. The reaction of aqueous sodium hydroxide with the salt of transition element can be used to identify the element. Yes, if iron 2 ion salt, iron 2 ion contains iron 2 salt, if you add sodium hydroxide, they form iron 2 hydroxide. So you can tell there's iron 2 ion present, iron element present. So transition metal salt reacts with sodium hydroxide to produce their hydroxide. Their hydroxide are different color. By observing color, you can detect the transition metal. And this the reason is that this already I told. Transition metal hydroxide are open colored. Say iron 2 hydroxide green, iron 3 hydroxide red, brown or brown, copper 2 hydroxide blue. So transition metal hydroxide are colored. C is the right answer. Why A is wrong? Iron has 2 common oxidation state. 1, no, this is wrong. Iron has 2 common oxidation state, 2 and 3. Nickel can be used as catalyst. The use of nickel raises the activation energy of the reaction. No, this is wrong. Activation energy decreases, not raises, catalyst. D. Transition elements have high melting point. Reason, this is true, but reason, the presence of varying number of elements in the sea of delocalized electrons weaken the metallic bond. So this is wrong. C is the correct answer. Now 28, which equation is correct? Magnesium reacts with sulfuric acid to produce magnesium sulfate plus hydrogen. So this is correct. But why A is wrong? Here copper, 2 copper, but here 1 copper, so this is wrong. Sodium reacts with water, to produce sodium hydroxide, so this is wrong. Zinc reacts with nitric acid, zinc nitrate formula will be ZnNO3 formula is wrong, so B is the right answer. Now 29, metal X reacts with cold water to form a gas. Zinc displaces metal of Y from solution of its salts, that means X is more reactive than Y. Sodium is more reactive than copper, this is true. And the carbonate of Z is insoluble, so copper to carbonate is insoluble, but sodium carbonate soluble. Which compound could be identified of X, Y and Z? So this sodium, copper, this B is the right answer, correct answer. Why is wrong? Sodium is more reactive than magnesium, but sodium carbonate are soluble, so this is wrong. But the question is asking insoluble. C is wrong. Why? Copper cannot displace magnesium, because question is asking metal X reacts with zinc displace metal Y from a solution of its salts. Zinc displaces metal Y, so from its salt. Okay, so zinc displaces metal Y is copper, less reactive, so zinc is more reactive, this is true. C is wrong. Next, which statement about alloys is correct? B. They are mixture of metals with other metals or non-metals. This is the definition of alloys. What is alloys? Alloys are mixture of metals with other metals or metals with non-metals. A is wrong. Why? They are compounds of 2 or more metals. No, they are mixture. They conduct electricity because they have ionic bonds between the metal atom. This is wrong. Next, 31. Pieces of magnesium can be attached to the steel hull of a ship to prevent rusting because magnesium is more reactive. This is a sacrificial protection. Which statements about sacrificial protection are correct? C is the right answer because magnesium is oxidized. Why? Magnesium is more reactive. More reactive metal loses electron. More reactive metal oxidize. Save less reactive metal. So only 3 is the right answer. D is the right answer. Why 1 is wrong? Iron atom gain electrons, no, and form hydrated iron 3 oxide. This is wrong. Magnesium atom gain electron, no, magnesium atom lose electron to form magnesium ions. Why is carbon used in water purification? It removes taste and odors. D is the right answer. The function of carbon in water purification is it removes taste and odor. Why is wrong? It acts as a filter to remove insoluble solids. No, this is wrong. It adds oxygen to the water. Wrong. It disinfects the water. Disinfects do chlorine, not carbon. So this is the right answer. Which statement about air pollutant is correct? A is the correct answer. Why? Catalytic converters in vehicles change a toxic gas into a non-toxic gas. Yes, the function of catalytic converter to react harmful gas to convert is less harmful gas or non-toxic gas. Say in catalytic converter, carbon monoxide reacts with nitrogen oxide, nitrogen 2 oxide to produce carbon dioxide and nitrogen. That means harmful gas, toxic gas are converted to non-toxic gas, non-harmful gas. Why B is wrong? Flue gas desulfurization uses calcium nitrate, not calcium nitrate, calcium oxide and calcium carbonate. Photosynthesis is a process that releases carbon dioxide. No, that uses carbon dioxide, releases oxygen. This is wrong. Sulfur dioxide is responsible for photochemical smoke. No, nitrogen oxide and unburned hydrocarbon are responsible for photochemical smoke. 34. What is the structural formula of propyl methanoate? Propyl methanoate. So alcohol part, this is the right answer. This structural formula of propyl methanoate so propyl methanoate, D is the right answer. If you draw the structural formula, you will get CH3 CH2 CH2 O CO H. So here this is star functional group. This is alcohol part, propyl. This is acid part. So this propyl CH3 CH2 CH2, this is propyl methanoate H C double bond O means H C O is the methanoate, one carbon containing alkanoate H C O minus, this is methanoate. But this is propyl ethanoate, 2 carbon. So this is wrong. B is wrong. This is methyl propanoate, but question is asking propyl methanoate. So this is the right answer. Next, which statement about ethane is correct? Ethane is an alkane, 2 carbon containing alkane. Each ethane molecule contains exactly 7 bonds, all of which are single covalent bond. So if you draw the displayed formula of ethane, you will get the answer: 2 carbon containing this is the ethane, here hydrogen, 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 hydrogen. So ethane molecule contains exactly 7 bonds: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bonds, and all of which are single. All are single bond, and these are covalent bond because carbon is non-metal, hydrogen is non-metal. So A is the right answer. Why B is wrong? Ethane is a member of the homologous series of alkanes, a family to unsaturated. No, ethane has carbon-carbon single bond, so this is saturated molecule, saturated hydrocarbon. So B is wrong. C wrong. Why? The equation for the complete combustion of ethane is carbon dioxide and water, but here 2 carbon, 2 carbon, oxygen 2 to the 4, 3, 7, but here 6 oxygen, so this is wrong. D, when a molecule of ethane reacts with chlorine, one hydrogen atom is replaced by a chlorine molecule, not chlorine molecule. One hydrogen is replaced by a chlorine atom. Next, isoprene is an alkene which is commonly found in plants. Which properties does isoprene have? Is an alkene. So 1, it burns in air. It is right. It is correct because alkene burn in air to produce carbon dioxide and water, and it can form polymers because alkenes to form addition polymer. This is also right, correct. And it decolorizes aqueous bromine. Yes, you know, alkene decolorizes bromine water. So A is the right answer. Mean 1, 2, 3, all 3 answers are correct. Next, the structure of an ester is shown. This alcohol, propyl ethanoate. This alcohol name is propyl ethanoate. Propyl ethanoate. So which two compounds react to form this ester? Propyl. Alcohol part is propyl, so propanol is needed. Propan-1-ol. And acid part is ethanoate. 2 carbon containing acid is ethanoic acid. So ethanoic acid. I mean, ethanoic acid reacts with propanol in presence of sulfuric acid catalyst to form propyl ethanoate. So C is the right answer. Why A is wrong? Butan-1-ol, butanoate. This is propanoate, so this is wrong. Ethanol, ethyl, but alcohol part is propyl. This is wrong. And D is why wrong? Propan-1-ol, this part is correct, propyl, but methanoic acid, methanoate, but this is ethanoate. So this propan-1-ol and ethanoic acid will be the correct answer. C is the correct answer. Next, 38. (25 cm³ volume of 1 mole per dm³ sodium hydroxide concentration and volume is given, is titrated with dilute sulfuric acid using a suitable indicator. 25 cm³ of the sulfuric acid is required to reach the end point, neutralization point. End point means neutralization point. So what is the concentration of sulfuric acid and which indicator is used? So sodium hydroxide concentration volume is given, sulfuric acid volume is given. You are asking to find the concentration of sulfuric acid and which indicators is needed, used. You see the calculation. If you calculate, you will get the answer. A, concentration of sulfuric acid 0.5 and indicator is methyl orange. So you know sodium hydroxide reacts with sulfuric acid, sodium sulfate plus water. Sodium hydroxide 2 mole, sulfuric acid 1 mole. So first N means number of mole of sodium hydroxide, concentration times volume. Volume is 25 divided by 1000. cm³ is converted to dm³ by dividing 1000. So moles of sodium hydroxide you get 0.025. And from the equation you see 2:1. I mean sulfuric acid mole will be half of sodium hydroxide. So moles of sulfuric acid will be moles of sodium hydroxide divided by 2. Why divided by 2? Because sulfuric acid is the half of sodium hydroxide. So you will get 0.0125 mole. Now you know number of mole equal concentration times volume. So concentration of sulfuric acid will be number of mole times volume. Concentration of sulfuric acid number of mole divided by volume. Volume is 25 cm³. So you need to convert it dm³ by dividing 1000. So 0.5 mole per dm³ you get the concentration of sulfuric acid. And indicator you use any acid base in indicator, methyl orange or phenolphthalein. But here B also right answer. This part universal indicator, no, universal indicator shows different color in different pH, and this wrong, this wrong. So A is the right answer. Next, the results of a paper chromatography experiment are shown. X is an aqueous solution of group 1 element. You know, group 1 element salt aqueous solution are colorless. Say sodium chloride, these are colorless. Y is an aqueous solution of a salt of transition element, and you know transition element salt solution are colorful, they have color. Now you see chromato baseline, X move this distance, Y turns baseline to more distance. So RF value of Y will be greater than X. This is the solvent prompt. So you are asking which row is correct? Larger RF value will be for Y. Why? Because baseline to Y distance divided by baseline to solvent prone distance. This value is larger than this value. So Y RF value for Y will be more, larger, greater value. And so C, D also right, but why this? And you see second part requires a locating agent, and As X is a group 1 salt solutions, they have no color. To visible colorless solution, colorless compound, locating agent is needed. So this for X is the right answer. C is the fully correct answer. Larger RF value and requires need a locating agent to identify that salt. So next, you see aqueous sodium hydroxide is used to identify the ions present in aqueous solution of compound Q and R. The results are shown. This colored compound transition metal solution before addition of sodium hydroxide. After adding a few drops of aqueous sodium hydroxide, green solution. So green solution, you know, there are two ion can form green solution. One is one is chromium hydroxide is green precipitate, and also iron 2 hydroxide is green precipitate, but copper 2 hydroxide is blue precipitate, iron 3 hydroxide is red brown precipitate. So first answer may be chromium 3 or iron 2 because they form green precipitate. Now you see the second part, ion of compound R. This is the right answer, ammonium ion. Why? You see, colorless solution have no color, not transition metal. Before addition of aqueous sodium hydroxide and after addition of aqueous sodium hydroxide, gas is, if you give heat, gas given off. So you know, if any ammonium compound, say ammonium chloride, if you add sodium hydroxide, if you give heat or gently warm, you will get ammonia gas. A gas is produced. Salt plus ammonia gas plus water. So for second part of the question, this is the ion in compound R, ammonium ion present. Why? Any ammonium ion containing compound, if you add sodium hydroxide, salt plus ammonia plus water will be produced. Thank you, dear students.